Hello and welcome to Boost, Booze, and Barbecue. And by the way, heavy to the barbecue this weekend, Coy. Holy smokes.
Yeah, you've been doing some serious BQing.
Good Lord Almighty. What a weekend. Not only was I groomsman in my buddy's wedding, which was a great wedding, by the way. Really proud of those guys, Chris and Sarah. They've been together for a long time, so this all just kind of worked out. Not the whole pandemic when we're trying to get them married, but all the other stuff, it worked out.
That sounds like one of those excuses you make, like when you're trying to push off a wedding. Like, hey, there's like a virus going around, pandemic, so better wait till next summer.
Right. This one's, kind of like the flu rather than the herpes.
Yeah.
But, it's a like, similar concept.
It's actually a legit thing this time for people.
Yes, so. Exactly. Not only did we cook yesterday, we cooked the day before as well. Man, I'm going to tell you, it went off without a hitch, but I don't know what I was thinking being a groomsman and catering the wedding. Like, it was so much work. So I get there 10 a.m. Not a big deal. 10 a.m. That's not bad. You know what I mean?
You've been up since, 5, getting everything ready?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then we drive an hour out to this awesome vineyard, Croft Vineyards. We had a great time out there, and I have to give them a shout-out. Their Croft wines are very good. We should be having them on an episode of Small Batch over on Pardon My Fork here real soon. But we, get out there. It's about an hour away, and fortunately, I had been able to drop off the smoker the night before, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
So we get a fire lit in it, and we get the pork out. I'm doing 4 bone-in pork shoulders, right? So I score the tops, I get my rub put down, and then I inject with pineapple juice. That's the first time I've ever injected with pineapple juice, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. People say you don't want to marinate in pineapple juice because it does that ceviche thing and kind of cooks it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I've never seen that before, but supposedly a pineapple injection can kind of help loosen the meat up a bit because those enzymes are pretty rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we get them put on the smoker just in time for me to have to leave, go and get into my tuxedo and get photos taken and stuff there. I leave there. Okay, it's going to be a couple hours. We're going to take some more photos at the venue. They call me an hour later. Nope. We wanted to go into the downtown area, get some photos, and then go back to the vineyard. So I have to leave producer Nick with everything. And by the way, absolutely crushed it this whole weekend. I could not believe that he did so much work for me for no pay. I should be calling him intern Nick.
Yeah. He's going to do a better job than our other intern.
His face doesn't look too happy over there. Sorry, Nick.
It's good intern, Nick.
Good intern. That's a good distinction. I have some news about interns, by the way. So we go and take more photos. I run back. We're tending the fire more, making sure that things are all prepped up. I actually have to run to the store because I had not bought any lettuce for the Caesar salads because I knew that if it was sitting out in that heat, it would just wilt, and I didn't have the room in the cooler, blah, blah, all the things, right, Coy? So I run to the store and do that. I come back. We're taking more photos, and it all goes off without a hitch. The meat comes off. Nick cranks the temp on it. We throw on how many chicken thighs? It was like 30 chicken thighs, right? Everybody has one. A couple people have 2. Everybody loves the chicken. It's amazing. Ironically, the only meat that I didn't touch at all, that was Nick, and our friend Andrea did all of it. And everybody just absolutely loved it. And it just went off without a hitch. I was amazed.
The food was great. Standard kind of brown sugar rub for the chicken thighs?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what it is, you guys. It's brown sugar, salt, onion, garlic, pepper, paprika, chili powder, chili flake, a little bit of cumin, and that's pretty much it. Right proportions, though.
Yeah, which he won't tell you.
Well, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Do you know why I can't tell you?
Why?
Because I never measure them. I literally eyeball every single batch of my rub.
Dump. Yeah.
And people always say that. They're like, you put exactly the same thing in your rub that I do. Why is it so much better? And I'm just like, do you measure yours? Yes, I do. Well, then don't.
Because that's the only thing I'm doing different.
Yeah, that is literally the only thing I'm doing different. Do you want to know what my measuring style is, Coy? I try to make sure that the brown sugar gets dumped into the bowl and it's heaped, right? It's kind of got the cone top.
Yeah.
So when I'm pouring the salt in, I know what I want it to look like as the salt falls down over it like snow.
Yeah.
As I'm pouring the onion powder out, I know what I want it to look like as it's falling down over the salt.
You're more of a weatherman. You're like measuring precipitation than you are actually adding seasonings.
I actually am, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can ask me in centimeters how much rub I put in the bowl, but I've never measured it before. I have no idea.
I don't know if you should admit that to everybody. Because I feel like a lot of people are like, all right, you liar. Like, sure, you don't know what you're doing. You're doing something different. You know, you're just not going to tell me.
A well-seasoned smoker, the proper mix of wood, the right amount of smoke. A lot of people put too much smoke on. You want that TBS, that thin blue smoke. That's the most important part when you're smoking meat. You don't want thick, heavy white smoke. You don't want that black creosote smoke. You know, a lot of people that smoke meat, they can have meat that ends up too tannic or too, I don't know, just tasting like an ashtray sometimes, you know. And they don't realize it, but once you've tasted it once, especially with your own barbecue, you can kind of taste it, then it's underneath. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a great time. I mean, obviously, it was Wine Guy Chris's wedding, and so the wine that he picked out was amazing. The beer he picked out was amazing. Like, everything was just absolutely spot on, and it was just a really, really good time. As a matter of fact, I can't believe the day after, I'm sitting here drinking more because, man, we really put it down the last 2 days.
Tied it on. Which, tell me about this, because I'm kind of digging this whiskey.
You like this one, huh?
Yeah.
So this was actually brought to us by our buddy Jake, not Jake the intern, our actual friend Jake, the one that we like.
Mm-hmm. Good Jake.
The Jake that actually messaged me and was like, can you get a different intern? Because I'm really tired of people asking me if I'm the intern for 3BQ.
Fair. That's a fair thing.
I think it is, too.
You go through our friends list, he's probably the only Jake, and they're like, that's him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That might be my fault for not friending the intern. No, I take that back. It's his parents' fault for naming him Jake. Yeah. No, this is Rebel Yell Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and he picked it up when he was going through Southern Oregon and dropped it off at the house. We unfortunately did not get to see him, but he did send me a photo through text of my goats all making noise and telling him that he had to come over and scratch them. So, and of course my rooster being an a-hole, just screaming his head off.
Yeah, of course. That's what roosters do, though.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? But yeah, this Rebel Yell Kentucky whiskey, I've never had this before. It's from Lux Row Distillers, and it's supposed to be a, made in Kentucky straight bourbon. I'm pretty impressed with it.
I'm trying to explain the flavor here, and I'm not good enough to explain it, honestly. But it's got some heat for sure, but it's not hot, and it's not spicy like I would expect it to be. It's just a warm, kind of smooth whiskey. And I'm not really a Kentucky whiskey guy. I'm more of a Alabama. I like the sweeter stuff. This isn't really sweet.
I'm going to see what the mash bill is here.
Honestly, surprised it doesn't have taste from the wheated. See, gets its award-winning, defiantly smooth taste from a wheated mash bill. That's all it says on the bottle about the mash bill. Enjoy responsibly. Ha!
Come on now, you know better than that. Holy smokes, there are a lot of whiskeys in this list. Okay, I'm going to make my way through this. Yeah, it's got a sweetness to it. It is a little bit smoky, actually. You get a little bit of that barrel char. It's got... what am I smelling here?
You can definitely smell some vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say... caramel's not the word I'm looking for. It has kind of a butteriness to it.
Okay, here we go. So it is 68% corn, which makes sense, that sweetness. It's 20% rye and 12% wheat.
I would have thought I guess that's about right. Rye usually makes it definitely a lot spicier and has that kick. So that's about right because it is fairly smooth.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget, Marcotte Distilling, for example. You really, really liked their aged moonshine, but that is 100% corn.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because I like it sweet.
Yeah. I like a good...
I like my high fructose corn syrup to get me drunk.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. Put it in everything, make it so it gets you drunk. Like, it's already there. Just make it alcoholic.
We already did that. It's called Four Loko.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Four Loko, didn't they have to reduce the amount of alcohol in that because it was killing people?
They had to reduce the caffeine in it.
Oh, the caffeine.
Because, I don't know if you remember this, we talked about it, that we should buy like 12 pallets of Four Loko and then be like moonshine runners to like college parties and stuff. But, okay, man, I'll sell you some of the good Four Loko, you know, load your trunk up, run from the cops, do all the cool stuff.
Westbound and down.
Load it up. Yeah, we'd take it west of the Rockies, and then we'd be hauling moonshine.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, you know, these days I just don't know if I have it in me. I don't know if I want to. Couldn't tell you the last time I had a Four Loko.
Oh, I thought you were saying run from the cops.
Oh, that's all day, every day.
I was gonna say that was like 2 days ago. Speaking of running from the cops, my weekend got kind of intense.
You were telling me about this.
I don't know what's in the weather out here or in the air. If it's the COVID cooping everybody up, people are driving crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I drive fast, but I'm courteous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wave as I pass you. I don't flip you off. And I don't squeeze in between cars when there's not enough room. I'll wait. I'll be like, I can wait. I'll pull out when there's room, and then I'll pass you in speed. Like, I drive fast. I don't drive like an a-hole. People were driving like a-holes this weekend. I had to drive up to like Odell Lake, Crescent Lake, up Highway 58 and Highway 97 here in Oregon, up in the mountains, where they were holding the Gambler event this weekend. The OG Gambler was up there, and Hoopty Cross as well. So I had to drive up there to pick some people up that were doing some hiking. And I'm getting cut off down the 5, just left and right. I mean, I would be too close to the car. I would be following too close to the car in front of me, and somebody would squeeze in there, just again and again. I went through, traffic was stopped on 58, this nasty wreck. I mean, just chunks of like one of those wrecks that you're looking at it and you can't reconstruct it in your head. There's like 4 cars, they're all crushed from different angles. And you're kind of looking at them all, and they're all, other sides of the road in random ditches. You're like, shouldn't there be like 3 more cars for the math to work out on this? There's too much crushed sides. But, I wasn't there at the time of the wreck, but I got through it. And I'm just a couple miles past that, and all of a sudden I hear tires chirping. And I look in the mirror, and what I think is a little red car coming out to pass me in a turn lane. And then, after driving through the traffic I'd been through that day, excuse me, I'm just like, well, par for course, whatever. I can't believe you're doing this, but get your pass on, And then I realized their brakes, they're locked up. And they had gotten kind of up beside me. And I just maintained my speed. And then they kind of, their brakes were locked up after they swerved out around me. Then they swerve hard back behind me. And then they get totally they're totally sideways in the turn lane. And this kind of psychopath I am, I just kind of smile and serves you right for trying to pass me in the turn lane. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, you should have more skill before you try to advance maneuver like that. Yeah. You're not ready.
You just ran out of skill and your luck is empty.
Yeah, you're not ready, young Padawan. This move was too advanced. And I just kind of chuckled to myself as they're, I'm assuming, going to spin down the road. They went sideways, hit the gravel, and then the car starts. I look in the other mirror and I see it rolling. And I was like, ooh. I feel like a bad person a little bit right now. I did kind of wish that on them as it was happening, but I pull over and back up, and I don't know what happened. I think the person just was basically speeding and maybe texting or something, and was about to rear end me, swerved into the turn lane to not rear end me, had the brakes locked up, overcorrected back to get back behind me, and then lost control. So it was exciting. Yeah.
That sounds like a wild time. Now, any of the cars that were like being a-holes and cutting you off and stuff, were they gamblers?
No, I don't think any of those cars have the capacity. I mean, when you put 38s on a Mustang, like you can't drive like an a-hole. You drive like a tractor.
Think about the irony, though. An event called The Gambler, and they all call themselves gamblers. and they're the courteous ones driving on the road. Like, how bizarre is that?
Oh, I stopped. Actually, there's a 58 drive-in in Oak Ridge, which is my new favorite, like, roadside burger stand. Amazing. The little thing that if you're going to make French fries, it costs almost nothing to put rosemary on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically free, and it makes them taste 4,000 times better, and unlike everyone else's.
Exactly.
And here's another trick. If you make French fries, why do you overcook French fries? Everybody overcooks them. It's okay for your French fry to be soft.
Yeah.
Just, it's still 4,000 degrees and going to burn my tongue. I don't need it to crunch and snap a tooth either.
Right.
Yeah. So they did everything right in my book. That was a really good little restaurant, and I'm considering driving back. But there's some...
I'm assuming, hold on. I'm assuming that the fries weren't soggy. That's a big one for me.
See, they weren't. They just had a tiny bit of sog. Tiny bit. I want them to be. I want to be able to grab the fry and give it a wiggle. I don't want it to snap off. I want to just have a little rubberiness. That nice soft. I mean, they're golden, but not crunchy.
Yeah.
I know some people like their fries crunchy, but some people like their bacon to be burnt. So I'm not. Some people I can't judge.
I don't need my fries to be crispy, but man, when they're soggy, like when they feel oil soaked, that is a huge no-no.
No, it wasn't like that. They were still flexible, but they were not like soaked in grease.
I gotcha. Okay.
So perfect though. In my book, perfect fries and perfect burger. Everything about this place was amazing. Homemade buns, all the 9 yards. And there were some gamblers there I was chatting with. They had I believe it was a Toyota Sienna minivan. 33s on it, I think. Mm-hmm. They came into town because they needed a belt tensioner. They thought their water pump had gone bad. Turned out belt temperature went bad. And from Crescent Lake, the nearest auto parts store is Oak Ridge, which is probably 60 miles or better.
Ooh.
So they weren't the only gambler in town coming for parts, though.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw a lot of cool gambler rigs. I really wish I could have made it up to the Hoopty Cross, but it just wasn't going to work out for me.
That is always kind of the oxymoron for me with the gambler, because quite frankly, I don't want a car that's going to break down a whole bunch. You know, one kind of weird little thing that happens and you fix it with zip ties. That doesn't bother me too much. What I'm nervous about is
a $400 tow bill on your $500 car.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think everybody is. I would say that's one of the number one hangups.
Well, so what do you think? I mean, is that just part of the fun, or is there something that you would want to do to mitigate that?
You just have to know a buddy with a tow vehicle and a trailer. Mm-hmm. And whether he's with you or he just let him, line it up where he's willing, like that's something I feel like if you're truly sticking with the $500 car, like you're going cheap, you got to expect a breakdown and have made plans for that.
Yeah. I think that a lot of pre-inspection is going to kind of take care of that for some of the mechanical stuff, axles or brakes or whatever.
Yeah, you can get through all that, but there's just, water pump failure, timing belt, things like that. There's things that's real hard to, they're just going to go at $200,000 and there's not much you can do without dumping money into it.
Well, especially when you buy a car with the specific intent of doing this. And if you're like us, you've procrastinated, so it's 2 weeks before, and you buy this car, you can't really drive it all that much. And now all of a sudden you're, banging gears on the rev limiter. Yeah.
And if you're going to go do the Hoopty Cross after you do the Gambler, have a friend bring a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, that's... The trailer needs to be coming up on Sunday if you're doing Hoopty Cross.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I think last year it was a 4-mile track. Does that sound right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure what they did this year, but it's $20 a run, and it's a pretty good loop.
And I'm pretty sure there was a jump in there somewhere too.
There's some jumps in there. Yeah, it's a significant track. So
here's where I'm coming down on this, and I'm curious what your feeling is going to be. Like a Kia Rio, not so much. A Suzuki Arrow, not so much. A Crown Vic or like a Mercury, the counterpart to the Crown Vic. I'm tired. I don't know. Help me. Mercury Marquis.
Yeah.
Something like that is a maybe, depending on which motor is in it. A Jeep like an XJ. I think I would put a solid maybe on that. It depends on why it was sold in the first place.
Yeah, if it's selling for $500, it's beat up.
Right.
Which, those are incredibly tough vehicles. Maybe that's still a good deal for you. For me, I like kind of novelty. Mm-hmm. I will go any rear-wheel drive van windowless or no. It's oddball, and it gives you a massive canvas to paint whatever you want.
Now, are we still talking about something that's going to be able to complete?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Gambler itself, not that tough of a... I mean, it's gravel roads. And part of it now is how much trash you pick up.
Right.
So a cargo van is a plus on that. You can make a cargo van pickup. You can make that thing look like a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a ton of good fun things with the van. So I would be interested in almost any van, I think. I mean, rear-wheel drive type. There's some front-wheel drives. I mean, Dodge Caravans, not so much.
Right.
Ford Aerostars, hell yeah.
I don't know about the Aerostar. I think an Astro van, or really any Chevy van.
All-wheel drive Astro I would go for, maybe.
Yeah. After working in auto parts, I can tell you, you can pretty much rebuild a 4.3 or a 350 just from Napa.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here, let me rephrase this. Any van that has an engine cover in between the front seats.
Oh, okay.
Any van that I have to access the engine from inside, I will take. When we start getting in minivans where they're just front-wheel drive, pop the hood, that's starting to not be cool for me.
I'm with you. Here's my problem with the rear-wheel drive van. Do you want to know what it is? Especially if this is the first one that we're doing. It has to be A-Team themed. Has to be.
Oh, but that's one of the number one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you were talking about, spaceship or truck or whatever. My number one go-to, this is not a show where I want to say no to you. I never like saying no to you, Coy. You know this.
I know.
But I was having a moment there where you were talking about it, and I so badly kind of wanted to be like, no. Very first thing you're going to do, and again,
A-Team it up. No, I get that.
Me, not, if you want to do something different. And that kind of goes around to what we were talking about the other day. We really kind of want to campaign 2 vehicles, so you always have, theoretically, one vehicle that can tow the other one out.
That, preferably. The nice thing about doing things vans and A-Team is a lot of these guys, they got a theme, they dress the part. Mm-hmm. So if you go A-Team, everybody picks, crap, somebody in my crowd's gonna have to go blackface, but still.
Ooh. Can I just do the mohawk?
Yeah, I mean,
I could start tanning.
You don't want to get too tan because then that's I don't know. We'll revisit that, but and every year with the van you can change it up. You can do a Jurassic Park van, okay? You can do the van, with big NASA logo where you're all astronauts going out to the pad. Mm-hmm. You can change it up all the time.
Ooh, I can make you up a shirt that says Major Tom.
Major Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, you were thinking to yourself, what's another one? Nope, can't come up with another one. Yeah. Oh, Neil Armstrong.
Buzzed Light or Buzz Aldrin.
Oh yeah, Buzzed Aldrin. Yeah,
that's what I'd go with. Buzz is my hero. Anybody that'll punch a reporter is one of my heroes. Well,
that's true too. I'm rubbing my tummy right now because after all the food I've eaten over the weekend, you might want to call me Meal Armstrong. you get me?
So we'd have Neil Armstrong, Buzz Lightyear. Mm-hmm. We got to change Major Tom.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get one of our kind of druggy friends, Meth Tom.
Ooh, now that's methed up. Yeah, watching the Gamblers go out, so they actually had a get-together place here in Lebanon. Obviously, we were trying to get ready for the wedding, and I was not able to stop and walk around, but we definitely drove through and saw all the Gamblers there. We got to see the fire truck. That was pretty cool. Of
the
course.
Mini fire truck one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that headed up there, actually.
Yeah, that thing looks super cool. I love it.
That's not a $500 car. That's just a fire truck. A Japanese fire truck.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's definitely a cheap one. As a matter of fact, I think when it was being imported over, it was like $8,500.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but that is not a Gambler in many senses.
No. I wonder how we could get one of the mini 4-wheel drive little, Daihatsu trucks or vans. I wonder how we could work that out.
I would love to do one of those. It's kind of hit and miss whether you can get them registered here.
Sure.
Depends on what, it's a lot of people are having a tough time registering them. So,
well, a lot of people brought them in as ATVs.
Yeah.
A lot of farm vehicles.
A lot of that. Supposedly, you can register them as like a kit car sometimes and get them through that way. They're you get online, you can kind of read about how people are getting around it and stuff. But
Register them in Montana.
Yeah, it's all gray area.
Sure. I still really like the plan to have one of those and put a sport bike motor in it.
I would just want to do it up like the milk wagon from Cruising Exotica and
yes.
soup the daylights out of it, and then just take it down to like park and drift the daylights out of it.
All right, Nick, we've got some work for you. Find for us the milk truck in Cruising USA. It was in USA and World too.
It was Exotica World and USA, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved those games.
Double stomp that gas pedal, rip a giant wheelie.
Double stomp the gas pedal, yes. Yeah, Cruising USA or Cruising World. Oh man, pull up that finish. Oh no, you went away from it. All right. Ooh, this might be more difficult
Just
than we thought.
Just throw in video game in there and it'll pop up.
Actually, put three-wheeler in because it was the three-wheel truck.
Was it a three-wheeler one?
It by far and away was the best vehicle in the game, though. I think we all know this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It, for whatever reason, was one of the quickest. Boy, that is bizarre. Why is that not coming up? Huh. Anybody on audio right now is probably thinking, what are these guys doing? But,
yeah, we're... Cruising USA Milk.
Sorry. Producer Nick just looked up Cruising USA Milk, and it's literally all just women, like, modeling with milk.
Yeah. Put video game in there and see what happens. Yeah, I'm glad you had the safe search on for that one because it could have went south fast.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're having a hard time coming up with this one, buddy. Let's see here, BeamNG. One of my favorite games right now to play. They have a little three-wheeler that's like modeled off of the Reliant Robin. Mm-hmm. What do they call it? The Pigeon. The Pigeon. I've been doing some races in that video game.
Hang
using
on,
the
Nick,
Pigeon.
try Cruising Exotica. I only say that because if he misspells that as erotica, it's going to be awesome.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have the arcade game popping up like crazy.
We got
that's
the
a
arcade
step
game.
closer. And nothing.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm
It's,
honestly
again, it's a
sad
three-wheeler.
right now.
You have to put in three-wheeler.
We always called it the milk wagon, but I mean, I'm sure if I actually owned the game at some point instead of just played it in Walmart lobbies, there's a specific name for it.
We owned it. We had it for the N64, remember?
Did you have that for the N64?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I was doing some cleaning out in my shop here last weekend. We actually ordered a dumpster. The dumpster is sitting full outside of my shop right now because I had completely filled it with everything. And guess what I found? Yeah, I found this game, the N64 cartridge.
It could be worth money. I don't know. I mean, it's functional. Probably not. But.
Probably not. I threw it in the dumpster already.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You'd rather throw it in the dumpster than go to GameStop and get 8 cents for it?
Well, so here's the thing, buddy. We need some room in the shop, okay?
Yeah.
Producer Nick's Ford Festiva, which we all know and love. Mm-hmm. I love that car. Him, not so much, but I do. I love that car.
Yeah.
Today, the clutch seemed to be saying, adios, aloha, and goodbye. Mm-hmm. I think it's because Nick roasted the absolute ever-loving crap out of it. But, yeah, it needs a new clutch. It needed a new clutch when we bought it. But, you know, we saw how long it would last. Mm-hmm. And it has fought valiantly. But, yeah, today, 3 miles from the house, it just decided, nope, I'm not gripping anymore. So I, in typical 3BQ fashion, went and got some orange toe straps, you know, the ones where you get from Harbor Freight, 4 of them for $6.
Yeah.
I brought 2 of those along with me. And so I double looped one. And then I thought, you know, we're on open roads. I need to make this safe. So I double looped a second one.
2. Yeah, that's safe for sure.
Very, very safe.
Yeah.
Because think about it. It's rated for 600 pounds. I double looped it. That's 1,200 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I put a second one double looped. It's 2,400 pounds. I mean, come on. How much safer can you be?
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works, though.
Well, it's simple math, Coy. You'd know that if you'd graduated high school.
I'm just saying, like, if you loop it the loops on the end, those are still that's not holding twice as much.
Well, then subtract 20%. I don't know. It's just do a little head math. It all
it's
works.
Still 600 pounds.
Nice. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree.
Okay.
So we get them all strapped up, right? And actually, it's funny because he'd broken down right in front of somebody's house, and they asked him if he needed a tow strap, and I said, no, we're good. We got this. You should have seen the way this dude looked at me. He was just like, all right, don't kill anybody. So we pull out onto the street, and I am talking to Nick on the phone, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so when I say brake, like you're going to see my brake lights light up, but you need to be braking harder, okay? So we did that the first time. I'm like, all right, we're slowing down. Go ahead and hit your brakes. Ka-thunk into the back of me.
How much tow strap? What was the distance we had?
3 feet.
You were what? You were towing him with 3 feet? Dude,
it was not 2 feet. It was 3 feet.
Okay, this is not on Nick. 2 feet.
So I told him, hey, we probably shouldn't stay on the main roads doing this. It ain't exactly what you'd call.
Why didn't you just push him?
Air quotes legal.
Why don't you just pull up behind him, just ease into him, and just get him going? You know.
Well, hindsight is 2020.
just out there. At this point, when you have 2 foot, okay, let's be honest. If you had 6 foot of tow strap, that's an incredibly small distance.
Yeah.
I feel like 20 foot should be your minimum tow strap. Even then, go 30 if you got it. Mm-hmm. At that point, just pull up behind him, get him pushed up to 30 miles an hour. Just let him coast ahead. You can ease back into him at the next stop sign.
Yeah. So, anyways, we pull off of the main road. And we're going around the side roads,
Yeah, because it's way safer.
Much safer. Lots of stop and go.
Yeah, but there's so much less children on the side roads.
Exactly. So I'm pulling him along, and everything is going absolutely amazing, swimmingly. Okay, a couple more bumps into my back hitch, but I'm not. It's fine. There's a little ka-thunk, but we're all good, right?
He can't be going that much faster than you. If there's only 3, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's what I figured. There's so little room that when he does hit me, there's really not going to be much in the way of damage.
Yeah. And
wouldn't you know it, we make it the entire way back to the house, and right as we're pulling into our driveway, he hits my hitch, like twice, rapid succession, bunk, and then everything breaks loose. And he's still on the phone, and he's like, I'm broken loose. And so I'm pulling down my driveway, and I look in the rearview mirror. He's already got his door open, pushing it. Was there a little bit of momentum left, Nick, that you were rolling with? He's nodding his head yes, and pushed it right on in. And I have never heard such a string of obscenities come from a college-educated 19-year-old.
I feel like anytime you're pushing a car, that brings education level down to we're all equal.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there could be a monkey and Albert Einstein, and if you're pushing a car, everyone's cussing.
Yeah. A car that's your only mode of transportation.
Yeah. You're already in a sour mood. It's broken. Now you have to push it. Mm-hmm. Not good.
Oh, and the smell coming off of this thing.
Oh, the burnt clutch smell is... I gag a little bit just thinking about the smell.
Anybody that knows what a burnt clutch smells like, that smell is so it's you never forget it.
And I don't know. I'm gonna just thought of this. I'm gonna run this theory by you. Burnt brake smells. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that smell. I don't know if or not burnt brake, but hot. I don't know if that's from racing, smelling hot brakes. So I familiarize that smell with a fun activity. Like you're at the track, there's hot brakes. It's
right.
It's race fuel. Whereas burnt clutch is a similar smell, but worse.
Yeah.
Which I find offensive to my, like I try to expel it from my nose. Like
right.
it violently assaults me, but there's no fun version of a burnt clutch.
No.
That I'm aware of. Like there's no like, oh hell yeah, chow. There's always obscenities. Mm-hmm. It's horrible.
There is one instance where burnt clutch smell is kind of alluring. It's when someone you don't like at the track has it.
Or maybe like if you just lost a race real hard and you're like, yes, smell that. It's my clutch. Clutch burned out.
Yeah, it could be. That could be one. Well, anyways, we're going to have a clutch changing party here at the house. And now we have shop space for it.
Good.
Yeah.
So I have to ask though, are we going to get like a sweet like $3 raised clutch, or are we just Napa Gold?
Nah, we're probably just going to go Napa Gold, unfortunately. This might be the perfect time, though, to go ahead and swap the motor.
It's honestly just about as easy on this kind of.
It is.
I mean, actually maybe easier.
Right, because the transmission has to come out either way.
Yeah. Dropping the motor with the trannies, I mean, unplugging some stuff and 3 more bolts. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where we can get... we could get a motor from like an MX3, right, a 1.6.
Okay.
Pretty much everything plugs right in. We'd need a new ECU, obviously, but the new ECU actually uses the same plug as the Festiva.
Oh, well, that's wildly convenient.
Very.
Now, this isn't as wildly convenient, but how hard is it to put a KLZE V6 in one of those?
Not easy in the slightest.
How awesome would it be?
It would be very awesome. There is a KLZE Festiva that runs around. Matter of fact, I want to say he's on our end of the continent, but he's in Canada, or maybe like northern Washington. But there is a KLZE.
Will the hood still close?
I don't think so, and I'm pretty sure it took a lot of modification. Nick, go ahead and just put in the letters KLZE and then Festiva.
I mean, obviously a turbo BP is the way to go, but...
Well, yeah, more power, it actually fits, all of that good stuff.
But just for the uniqueness of it, and then when you're racing somebody in a Festiva, that high-revving V6 sound is so oddball that it kind of makes it awesome.
Yeah, just go ahead and hit that first video. Yeah, jump ahead a little bit, Nick. Let's. We've got build photos, which is great, but I want to. There we go. Yeah, let's hear some of that sound. Oop.
And for people who aren't familiar, the KLZ.
It's a lot of music in here that we're not going to be able to do.
What they make it in it was in a 2.5 and a 2-liter?
The KLZE was a 2.5. The KLDE was a 2.5, but it was lower flow. The KLZE was the Japanese version. And then the KL, there's a 2-liter version.
So the V6, like MX3s, came with the 2-liter, right?
No, the MX3s came with the 1.8 version. And those were the K8 DE.
K8, there you go.
Yeah. And then the 2-liter version is like a KP or KB. I can't believe I'm forgetting about what it's called. But here's the thing: it doesn't really matter because it has the same footprint as the 1.8 or the 2.5. Yeah. So why go with the 2-liter? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, that was a popular cheater chump car swap. You get anything with the 1.8, and then you drop the 2.5 in it, and you doubled your horsepower. And it looks like an old greasy 1.8. And there were some fast, like MX3s and Ford Probes that would run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a great motor, too. The KLZEs are a great motor.
Tough motor.
As a matter of fact, there are people at Frankenstein knows you can actually use a rod and piston combination that makes them nearly bulletproof, except they overheat super bad. You can use, I want to say it's a 350 or a 327 rod, fits almost perfectly on the crankshaft, and you can use, I'm pretty sure it's a 300ZX piston in those motors, but at that point you're boring it out to like 2.75 liters, and the water jackets are so thin that once you start adding boost, it just overheats the motor.
So it's basically, you can make like a drag strip track motor where you just 2 runs and then park it.
Yes.
And then 2 runs, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That might be one of those candidates for filling with that Moroso block fill. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'm not sure how that stuff works, honestly.
A lot of Hondas use it, and supposedly there's a way to do it that makes it absolutely bulletproof.
Yeah, but it still doesn't really solve your heating problems.
I don't know about that. Nick, would you look up filled block Honda? filled block drag Honda, as a matter of fact. I think this is one of those things that's like you're still putting water jackets in it. There's still water flowing through it, but it has a lot of fill inside of it. You know, and again, these days, do you really want to do that instead of like a sleeve? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you're just going to sleeve it and close deck and whatnot, but...
Sure. Back in the day, though, this used to be a pretty popular thing. Some of the really fast Honda guys, some of the guys that were the first to make like 1,000 horsepower on their B18s, B16s, whatever, they would do the block fill.
I will say there was some janky stuff that happened back in the day.
So check this out. And here's one on Honda Tech called concrete fill. Photo bucket. But look, they put holes in it, so there is still water flowing around the concrete jacket. I know it sounds ridiculous, but somebody somewhere had figured out how to do it and make it work at least a little bit.
So what do they do? Just stick bolts or all thread or something down in there, fill it, and then just unthread those out of the concrete?
It'd have to be, yeah.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm. You certainly wouldn't want to do plastic or paper because you don't want those then chunking and going through your system.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you exactly, because I mean, I feel like that concrete could chunk and go through the system, but it's just a water pump, right?
Mm-hmm. It's only a water pump, Coy.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do this to your gambler.
Water pumps are literally meant to be replaced. Literally.
Yeah. A little easier to replace than the oil pumps, too.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be honest, it's not something I'm really interested in trying.
No?
No. This seems like a really expensive way to ruin a block and maybe still have the same problems you had.
Okay, but what if you had a car where it's not exactly known for performance, but there are tons of blocks around?
I can see it being fun, but I mean, this is something you do on a drag car only. There's no way you're doing this to a track car or even an autocross car or anything dailied at all ever.
No.
You're trailing it there. You're firing it up. You're letting oil temperature come up. You do a pass. You bring it back. You park it in line. Like this is not a daily driven raced thing. This is for one purpose only. And that is to get as much horsepower out of this block as you can before it explodes.
That's right. That's right. You know what? You would daily drive and race pretty much all the time. You told me this yourself. It's today's smoking dealer smoking a doob.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Producer Nick, you ready to cue that up?
Smoking deal or smoking a doobie.
And we've got quite an interesting one here. So, ironically, I had sent this to a friend of mine. That friend had sent it to Coy, then Coy sent it to me, and he's like, yes, I want this. Now, here's the thing.
We got to try and explain what this is first. I don't even know.
It's going to be a hard one.
It's a Nissan 240 that has been body kitted in a way that makes it look like a 1940s Rolls Royce. Is that kind of a close comparison?
You know what you could also compare it to is the Excalibur cars from the 70s.
There we go. That's what I'm. It looks very Excalibur-ish. It does in no way on first glance, second glance, or third glance do you think that's a Nissan 240.
Mm-hmm. Aside from the fact that it has no carpet inside, and it has a wood steering wheel and a wood knob on the automatic transmission,
that is
which
the
is
saddest
unfortunate.
part. I like that it has an AMG steering wheel in it.
No. It does look like an S13 in all ways inside. So let's give some details on this thing. It is a Mitsuoka Lafayette. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Doesn't really matter. It is an S13, and it is, I don't know. It's a kit, you know. Think of it as like a coach builder, but obviously they have had to narrow the front end. There's been a lot of body work that has happened there. That's not just taking the fenders off. I mean, the fenders have come off. The subframe has been shortened. The Whole front of the car has been narrowed, aside from the lower subframe with the steering and suspension and everything. Those still have the same dimensions.
And that has a red top SR20 in it as well, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, not lacking in horsepower.
No. And frankly, probably very driftable.
And honestly, I'm guessing this is all fiberglass. It could weigh less than a stock 240.
You think so?
I mean, it's possible. I'd love to know the weight on it. Yeah, that's a tough one to say. I mean, it could weigh more too, but I think that's going to weigh less.
Nick, why don't you go ahead and do a quick search for the name of the car? It says here that it's one of 500 built.
So I'm guessing this is not a kit. This is some kind of luxury-ish type thing that was built for chauffeur type stuff.
Yeah, like a coach builder.
I love those running boards. I want to just do some kind of crazy lean out there with the Tommy gun, something like that.
And the spare wheels on the sides that are covered. It's very, like you said, it's very I don't know, 1930s Phantom. Really just a bizarre looking thing. So let's see here. You've got the wiki up for it, Nick. The Mitsuoka Lasaid was a limited produced car based on the S13. They also made that in 1990. And then in 91, they announced the Dura, which is a convertible version based on the Ford Mustang. So it's going to be a Fox body Mustang. Yeah. And then in 2000, they made one based off of the S15.
Scroll down, 4-speed automatic.
Oh, except for it was naturally aspirated.
2,900 pounds, so it is heavier. But that's not a lot heavier.
No, I think it's still very driftable.
Yeah, and it's already got a turbo motor. I feel like we just need to do a manual swap on this thing. And
don't forget the Megan coilovers.
It probably came pre-made with Megan's, I'm hoping.
A welded diff, obviously.
Welded diff. Polish this thing up, put on your chauffeur hat, take this thing into your local drift track, and drift in style.
Now, I want to show the folks that are watching the video and those at home, if you're listening, just do a quick search on your phone or on your computer for the Excalibur series cars. Go ahead and look that up for us, Nick.
It is really similar to those Excaliburs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Excalibur, I want to say they started in the mid-'60s. So the Excalibur Series 1... that's a Series 4, Nick. That's from the 80s. Go ahead and do Series 1.
Still pretty similar.
There you go. That's the Excalibur Series 1, 1967. Pretty classic look. It's not super overly gaudy, though, is the thing.
The one is more street rod, whereas you start getting a 4 and stuff in there. They're more Rolls Royce-y, but...
Yeah, exactly.
I would drift the daylights out of all of these as well.
I love the pipes coming out of the hood. It kind of reminds me of a Ford Model A that someone has built into a racer.
Yeah, just the hood's much, much longer.
Mm-hmm. Hey, can you show us a Series 2, Nick? Believe it or not, I am a huge fan of the Excalibur series cars. They're just goofy looking, wonky. Okay, here we go. So now we're mid-70s. Obviously, things have changed because this thing is long. Look at that. Look at the length of the hood, Coy. And then do you notice that the center line of the front wheel is about where the hood ends and the front grille is? And then it extends another 18 inches.
Oh, at least. It's got the crazy air horns. Yeah, see, the Series 1 was like a classy but beefy hot rod looking thing. And they got more and more executive limo-y kind of thing going on as they got, swelled fenders, the spare tire up there on the side of the hood that has a wheel cover on it,
And by the way, this is starting to look very similar to this S13
very,
base.
very similar.
Show us the Series 3, Nick. Yeah, here we go. Now we're starting to look at that. Look at that. I mean, it looks like a direct ripoff, does it not?
It is a direct ripoff for sure.
And of course, this one has the red line tires. And now let's go with the Series 4. because that rounds everything out. The Series 4 was built right up until, I want to say 1990. Like, they were available late. Here's a 4-door example. Yeah. Look at this goofy thing.
See, I feel like if I'm going with not a Series 1, I want a 4-door.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I go Series 1, I'm gonna go hot rod with it. But if I'm going any other series, I want to go this 4-door. I want to be able to, put my suit on, haul some friends around, go to a fancy restaurant, make a bunch of obnoxious jokes, call everyone peasants and stuff like that, and drive away with this.
But look at this thing. Is this not like that? S13 is a direct ripoff of this. It has the white wheel covers that are right in front of the front doors.
It's got the horn sitting out there in front of the grill.
It's got the headlights. I mean, everything.
It's a full-on ripoff.
Which one would you want a hot rod, though? Like, if you had either the Series 4 or the Series 1, and someone said, either way, you're going to get a 900 horsepower motor. Which one do you want it to be in?
1.
Really?
Yeah.
I would do the 4.
Just for the dumb factor.
For the dumb factor.
Yeah. It's close, but the Series 1 is a legit good-looking hot roddy car.
No, it is. It is.
You could go to car shows and be cool. Series 4, you go to car shows, people are going to raise their eyebrow, be like, what?
This looks like the kind of car where when you hit the horn, it better play La Cucaracha. Like, if it doesn't, I will be upset.
For me, it's got an Ooga. This kind of car has to have an Ooga horn.
No, not these. That first one, sure. I'm fine with that. This one, it needs to be...
And if I had a Series 4 Excalibur, I would have at all 4 seats within distance, no matter where you sat in the car, would be a thing of Grey Poupon.
Yes.
Like, I just
1000%.
pull up to a stoplight. And at this day and age, I don't know if everybody's going to get it, but I mean, anytime I see one, I'm just going to roll that window down. Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
Would you happen to have some Grey Poupon?
And then just spread it on a piece of untoasted bread.
I just hold it out the window and start squirting it on the ground.
All right, Nick, so with this image still up, can you switch back over to the S13? Oh, yeah. Give us the front view. Okay, now switch back for me. Dude, they're doppelgangers.
Yeah, no, it's a straight ripoff.
Yeah, it's a straight copy. 100%.
That being said, how awesome would it be to show up to an event and drift this?
It would be amazing.
And seriously, what is the event they have at Park where the pro drivers show up?
The Turk Bash.
Turk Bash. Mm-hmm. If you were even an amateur with any skill and you showed up to Turk Bash, the pros would be like, this guy is drifting with us now.
You want to talk about getting some social media clout, you'd get any one of the pro drifters in this.
Oh, they would always be like, let me take it for a spin, like I'm drifting this.
Oh, Vaughn Gittin Jr. would take it home. He'd just be like, this is mine now, bye.
Yeah, no, you'd have to wrestle the keys away from somebody.
He'd probably try to give you his practice Mustang.
And first thing you're like, ooh, a practice Mustang, that's a fair trade. And I'm like, no, like, get a rental car.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
There's nothing more beat up than Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s practice Mustang. I mean,
that is the truth.
That is the oldest hooker at the whorehouse.
Yeah, that is a fact. That's the dirtiest urinal.
Yeah. You do not want that under any circumstance.
Now, I have to admit, there is a little bit of an initial D thing going on because it has the yellow fog lights. But actually, it wouldn't be initial D. It'd be like initial G, initial Grey Poupon.
I'm sorry. If there was an initial D episode with this in it, it would be my favorite episode by far. He looks in the mirror and you just see those big round lights on this freaking Excalibur.
Yeah.
Have some dude in a suit with a chauffeur hat. Oh, he knows the mountain well. Hurrah! Yeah.
But not quite well enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, folks, obviously this is shaping up to be a deal. Here's where the doob part comes in. It's $18,000, Coy.
All right. That's a ton of money.
And it's being imported from Japan, so you have no idea what the condition is.
It's not here yet?
No.
Oh. Here's where I'm going to go with this. It's Japan. It's going to be in good condition. No one raced this. This sat in a rich dude's garage.
It's an island surrounded by ocean water. It could be a rust bucket
it's
underneath.
Almost all fiberglass.
Okay.
I would sooner buy it from there than Alabama.
All right, fair
You know
enough.
what I'm saying? I'm shaping up for deal on this. There are only 500 made. It's worth something. You got to figure a perfectly good, clean 240 with a turbo swap is in the 7.8 range. So you're halfway there already. Now you add this wacky thing, and just the fact that if you had just a mediocre amount of sideways talent at the track, it wouldn't matter. Everyone would love, like, you would be such a stud.
Yeah.
You would get to talk to anybody, any pro drift guy, if he was there and you were drifting that, he would come to see you. Mm-hmm. He would have questions. So it's a ton of money, but I feel like I'm not saying run out. I'm not saying that you can't afford not to buy this, but man, I think it's a deal at 17.
18.
17,999.
Here's your change, bitch. $1.
Thank you. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm seriously so on the fence about this.
Just imagine. Okay, imagine it this way. Just think. You're behind a white A86. It's dark out. You're both on the rev limiter going sideways. How hard are you grinning?
Yeah.
Could you grin harder?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wait, let me change it. You're just driving along, normal.
Yeah.
It's a dark road. A white 8.6 starts to pass you.
Yeah, okay.
In your mind, that music starts playing, you know?
Yeah. He had his headlights off, and I didn't know he was coming, and then he turned them on halfway past
Obviously,
me.
you're going to manual swap this, as we said earlier, but you reach over and you downshift.
Listen, if I'm...
Everything that happens for the rest of your life will be downhill from there. That was literally a downhill
Literally,
joke.
yeah.
But you know what
Because
I'm
you're
saying?
gonna
Like,
crash.
that is the pinnacle of what your life could be. Like, it will not... I don't know what you've accomplished, whether you cured cancer, you have 5 children. Everything will be less than that from there on.
I am going to throw this out there. If you're manual swapping this... Okay, if I'm dumb enough to have bought this for $18,000 and I still have money left over that I want to throw into this dumpster fire, I think
I'm being so unkind to this car right now.
I think I'm just going to 2J swap it.
Eventually, after I blow the red top, yeah,
Because you will, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to do a ton of standing burnouts. Like,
Well, right, you're going to be like, 300 horsepower, it's so amazing, until we have 600 horsepower.
look, yeah, I agree fully. Yeah, I'm sure there's room for a 2J in that hood.
Where does the intercooler go?
Does it matter? Probably behind the front tires and those giant fenders. I don't know.
Listen, I'm undecided. We're right up against the end of the show here, and I'm undecided. So I'm going to have to leave it up to the viewers / listeners. Let us know what you think about this rig. Is it worth $18,000? Is it a smoking deal? Is Coy having a stroke? I don't know.
Let's get Ryan from Clutch Kick Radio to write in, and we'll talk about it next week.
All right. Fair enough. We'll have the deciding factor there. Coy says deal. I'm on the fence. Let us know what you think. Of course, if you're an expert on these cars and they're worth $500, let us know, and we will, of course, entertain that as well. Coy, I think that just about wraps it up for us.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being here, my friend.
Cheers.
Everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. We rely on that, so we appreciate you. Pour yourself a glass and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. For producer Nick and Coy, this is Andy. We will see you next time.